Run, river, run, run through the hills. Run, river, run to the sea. Run, river, run to your place beneath the sun. Run, river, run.
Hi, this is Jan Lewis. Welcome to my guest. Another rainy day here in Upton. It's nothing like waking up in the morning and looking out your window and saying, oh, great, another bunch of piling rain outside. It helps the lawns, but the guys have got to get back on their little lawnmowers and get out there and compete to who gets the lawn done first. We have Dennis Smith with us today, and Dennis, welcome.
Thank you.
Dennis is a painter and a photographer, and he's based in Uxbridge. He's also a member of the Blackstone Valley Art Association, and that's how I met him. And we went to their big open house recently, and Lisa kept trying to say, you've got to have him on the show. You've got to have him on the show. How long have you been doing painting and photography?
Well, I've done photography since I was very little. I did my first paid portrait when I was 11 of someone. My father was a professional photographer for a while, so he kind of taught me how to do it. And I had a full dark room and cameras and everything, so it was really kind of a jump start.
So at 11 years old, you did your first photograph of a person, their profile?
And they paid me. And then it was like 50 years before the second one.
So you went through high school. Did you know what you were going to do?
Yeah, business. I played in high school and college. I actually played in a rock and roll band. And we were pretty good. We went all through the Midwest. The high school band, the college band was really just college, but it was about the best job you could ever have in college because you practiced on nights you weren't busy and you worked on the weekends, and you made a lot more money than you could working in the cafeteria.
They allowed you guys, you were part of the college, they allowed you to go out and do this and make your own money.
Yeah, it wasn't like the school band. We had our own band.
What was the name of it?
The Fifth Avenue Bus Company. Or Fabco.
Never heard of it. Are you thinking of...
No, you wouldn't have heard of it.
No. Well, the Fab Four were the Beatles.
Yes.
Were you before or after that?
The Beatles were while I was in high school, so this was after that. But it was still pretty much British invasion.
What did you play, guitar?
Guitar, yes. And I would sing, and then they would turn my microphone off, and I would continue to sing.
Did you go, after high school, right to college?
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
I went to Purdue.
Whoa, good school. Where'd you major in?
Engineering.
Another
electrical engineering.
Brilliant with the numbers, right? Oh my gosh, how do you do?
Surprisingly, yes.
Did you do well in math in high school?
Yeah, I did.
We meet
high school was really easy.
Really?
Yes. So college, I had to settle down and work a little bit. But.
Yeah. Well, high school sophomore, it began to become a real downer because I had to have a tutor to get me through the algebra and the trig, just to make it to my junior year. And when I was accepted to college, the administrator said, "You've been accepted." He said, but he looked at me, he said, "You're not going to do too well in college math." He knew it, but he just wanted to give me a shot, bring her in.
Well,
yeah, he was right.
Well, I got into advanced placement calculus in college.
Oh.
So you did 4 semesters of work in 3 semesters. And I'll never forget the first day because I walked in and the guy says, "If you'd rather do something else on the weekend other than study, you don't belong in this class." And I took him at his word and dropped it.
That's exactly right. You know what? I hear you. Because if you've got somebody that pushy, I think people tend to learn at their own speed. And by the way, if you didn't happen to get it right, all right, if he fails you, then you leave anyway, right? So after that, then you've worked in corporate.
Worked in corporate for a long, right out of college. Moved from Indiana, where I grew up, to Pennsylvania, and worked for the same company there for 30 years eventually. Now they moved to Arizona, so we lived in Scottsdale for quite a while. Then I went to work for another small company, and that big company came and bought them, so I ended up working for them again.
Back here?
Well, that was actually back here, yes. Yeah.
And so this brought you to Massachusetts, the job.
Yeah.
Now, all right, all this time, you're going to see some of his painting and photography. Were you still working on your painting and things?
I really just started painting a little over 4 years ago.
Oh.
I started seriously, hashtag, in photography maybe, or I guess that's Skyhooks, in photography maybe 7 or 8 years ago. Now, all the time while the kids were growing up And when we were taking vacations and everything, we did that. What got me into photography was actually doing video work.
Yeah.
As I was doing consulting for small businesses, I saw that I was doing the same thing with almost everyone, because there are like 10 things that a small business does wrong, and
Yeah.
straighten that out and they do better. So I decided to make a video subscription video class for it. And boy, was that a lot of work.
Yeah.
And there wasn't a lot of interest.
No.
But that got me a good camera. So I had a good Canon DSLR, and that got me back into photography. And then my wife and I started touring. We spent many weeks in Europe. Took a lot of picures.
What parts of Europe?
Italy, Spain, Austria, Germany, Sweden, really all over.
Scotland?
No Scotland.
France?
Yes, France. Well, we had gone to France earlier, but yes, we have spent time in Paris. Oh, in Scotland.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I had a development group, software development group that I was responsible for that was in Scotland.
Yeah.
And the only way to keep them on track was to show up every month. So I spent a lot of trips to Scotland.
You did a lot of traveling by air.
Yes,
My
I did.
God,
Yeah.
did you mind that, or
Eventually.
yeah. You were a little white knuckling it at first.
I know. I didn't mind it from being, upset by it. It was just a nuisance.
Yeah.
And well, like the trips to Scotland, I needed to go there for a day from Arizona.
Just for a day?
Yes, because I had stuff I had to do back at the ranch.
But did they pay for your flight?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But so I would actually fly in overnight, shower in the morning, have morning meetings, noon meetings, lunch meetings, a dinner meeting, go sleep for 3 hours, get on a plane, and come back. So I never really changed time zones, which makes it a lot easier.
Well, how many hours in flight are you to get to Scotland from Arizona?
I don't remember. Let me see. Just add it up. It's got to be 10 or 12.
Oh, you could put me in one of those cylinders, probably for even 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I admire people who can fly. Oh, now we're going to see the other side here with the painting and the. Let's show us some of your work.
What got me into photography
Yeah.
or into painting is I have 10 or 12,000 pictures from our travels. But the problem with that is the weather's never right, the season's never right, the light's never right. So I said, well, gee, if I just learn to paint, I can correct all that and make beautiful stuff. So that's what got me into painting.
So that's what you did. What are you going to show us
Okay,
first?
let's start with a photograph.
Watch out, that's going to go right down. I knew it.
Crash bang. Okay, that's good.
okay. We'll
okay.
hang on, hold on to this, you get a hold of that.
Okay. And, we'll just
There we
pick
go.
it up in a minute.
Okay. Now this is this from a photograph?
This is a photograph, and it's not a painting. It is actually we go to Florida for the winter for a few weeks, most years. And I spent a lot of days getting up an hour before sunrise, getting a cup of coffee, and going out. And I figured 80 or 90 times.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of good pictures. This is probably my favorite.
What part of Florida?
This is New Smyrna Beach, Florida, just 10 miles south of Daytona.
Is it anywhere near Delray or Boca?
No.
No, that's on the other side, probably, yeah.
So, this was very memorable. It was a beautiful morning, and just everything was right. It's also memorable because as I backed up to get it framed, I stepped off the edge of the dock. And there wasn't a railing. Fortunately, I figured it out in time to catch myself. But I almost went swimming that morning.
But what about your camera?
I almost went swimming. It would have gotten ruined.
Did you have the handheld or did you have it propped up?
This was handheld.
Almost went in the drink with you.
Yes.
Oh my God, that's an expensive deal.
Yes, it is.
Was it waterproof?
No.
Oh God, you were, but it wasn't.
Yeah, I'm drip dry. But so anyway, this was one. This was in the Blackstone Valley Art Association photography show, the beginning of the year, and got a second place.
You won second place.
Yeah, so that was good.
I love the coloring with the yellow and the
Yeah.
bright and the dawn.
Yeah, I've had, surprisingly, I've never sold it. Everything's for sale, of course, but I've had people who wanted it. So
Oh, yeah.
my daughter
well.
for her house.
So how many kids have you got, Dennis?
I have 4.
4.
Okay, tap.
Now, hang on for a minute, we're going to, he's going to pick up some of the things that dropped. We've been talking with Dennis Smith, and he is a photographer and a painter, and he is from Uxbridge. And he's part of the Uxbridge group, the Blackstone Valley Art Association. And they recently had an exhibit there, and I attended, and we met him there. And he's pretty multi-talented here with both photography and the painting. Show us something. What do you got next?
Okay, next is Cubism.
Now that to me this is great. This is abstract funky art. I love
So
this.
I put together a program for the Art Association, actually.
Yeah.
So I'm giving them, and what we did is I found a video from MoMA that talked about how to make analytical cubist art, and I set up a display, and we had about 10 people there who did stuff like this that day. And I did a sketch, and then I did this, and I kind of like this.
Oh yeah, I love it. It's abstract. It's fun. People will look at my abstract and say, "Well, what is it?" I said, "It's whatever you want it to be." You know, but you like yellow, don't you? You bring in yellow.
I do like yellow. I like bright colors.
So do I.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to get this one in?
I think the day of the event, I probably worked on it for 2 hours, and then maybe another hour or two afterwards.
Dennis,
Plus, of course, 4 years of practice. But you know,
is it acrylic oil? What is it?
it's acrylic,
Acrylic.
and it is varnished, so that's why it's shiny.
I like the way you make it look thicker.
Oh, thank you. Yes,
love that.
I use a lot of paint.
Yeah, it's really good. This is for sale also.
Yeah.
And while we're talking to Dennis, how can they reach you?
You can. Best way to get a hold of me is to go to my website, which is www.densmith.com, and you can leave a message for me there, or figure out how to call me at 617-642-6884. How's that?
That's good. All right, let's see what else you have. The gorgeous.
Okay, so now we're into watercolors that are not framed or matted.
Let me hold this up so that Paul can get it even better. There you go.
That's the Hartford Avenue Bridge,
Yeah.
just north of the Red Barn in Uxbridge. And I've probably painted that a dozen times, but this is probably my favorite of that. It's a fall picture, fall colors and things, and it's a watercolor.
Now you do watercolor, acrylic. Do you also do oil?
I mainly do watercolor.
Yeah.
Last year I decided to do 3 or 4 oils and 3 or 4 acrylics, but I mainly do watercolor. It's much more portable, it's much less messy, and it doesn't smell, and it washes out. So
I've got to learn how to work with it because I've been so used to acrylic through the years.
mhm.
This again is the Hartford Avenue Bridge, right over. Is it North Uxbridge?
No, it's actually Uxbridge.
Uxbridge.
Yeah. Okay.
When did you do this one? When it was? Is there a date on this?
so-
2018.
Yeah, 2018.
Not that long ago.
I think I did it last year. So.
Do you just sit right up there and do it while?
Oh yeah, there's actually right where I was, there's a picnic table.
Yeah.
So I was sitting at the picnic table. The biggest challenge, aside from doing the painting, is you recall we had a lot of the worms last year.
Oh gosh.
Gypsy moths.
Yeah.
And so I kept getting these little dots of things on my paper, and I couldn't figure out what it was. I finally did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do
so-
they call those? Not Chinese. What are those called?
Gypsy moths.
Okay, but there was another. I thought you meant the thing that was eating up the trees.
Yeah.
That plus
Oh, there's another one too.
eight longhorn Asian beetle.
Yeah, that was more up in Worcester. I don't think we've had those down in Uxbridge.
That's good.
Yeah, that's good.
Let's see
So-
what else.
Okay, so
So far, let's see. Acrylic, photography, watercolor.
okay, so I like to do self-portraits,
That's not you.
and I've done a lot of self-portraits, and most of them have not garnered much attention, except this one did.
That's you?
The other,
No.
turn it around.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a girl.
Well, I use both sides of the paper sometimes.
Okay.
And a couple trained artist friends went kind of wild over that, and yeah, that's me.
I like it.
I take a iPhone selfie and then lay that on the table and then do the drawing and the colors and everything.
You gonna frame it and hang it at home?
No.
What are you gonna do with it?
We don't hang. Well, I have a big box.
You keep the good stuff in a box. And this was a friend?
No, that's me too. That one
No
didn't work very
way.
well, so we don't show it to people.
No. This is far and above. Yeah, definitely. This is really good.
Yeah. So.
All right.
But a lot of fun.
Very good. Okay, that's watercolor.
That's also watercolor, yes. And this was on the cover of Muse magazine.
News magazine.
Muse, M-U-S-E, Lisa's magazine.
Lisa's magazine. She's
Yeah.
brought those here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Muse magazine.
And they use that as a cover. It's a watercolor, and I think it has some of the whitewash on it as acrylic, but I don't really recall. But it's mainly watercolor. And I've done a lot of paintings like florals like that, and a lot of different color schemes and things. But this is my favorite.
I like the way you don't make it. All right, it's like the art teacher says, "Here's a basket of fruit," and they want you to do it exactly.
No.
You have your own fun with it.
Yeah, and I have a camera to make it look exactly. So, you know. And
So
if
this
I-
was in 2018 also.
Yeah. I've mainly brought. It's all recent stuff, I think.
These are all for sale, right?
Sure.
Oh yeah.
So,
All right.
okay.
Wow.
So then so the way I learn is by copying masters.
Oh, whoa, that is.
That's a Van Gogh.
I should know that. I majored in art. It doesn't look. The Van Gogh I remember is what, Scream? The one where he's like this, a skeleton, or was that?
No, that was somebody else.
Okay.
But
Isn't he the one that had his ear chopped? He chopped
he
his ear.
oh yeah, he's pretty. He was really into things, but it's really a challenge to copy Van Gogh and a lot of other artists because they're working in oil and I'm working in watercolor.
Yeah.
And things don't behave the same way. So
No, but you know what? I love the way that yours. It's like a blending type of thing, and it's It's more imaginative.
yeah, and I like how this came out. And fortunately, you know, you can, even though people think you can't, you can erase in watercolor.
You can.
You can clean the colors off and start over, and you know, so you've got a lot of flexibility. But
When I've tried it, I'm never sure how much water to use and how to. It gets too thin.
yeah,
It's a style.
Do a few hundred paintings and you'll get it.
I'll get it.
You know.
All right.
So-
Here's another one. It's one of Van Gogh's pictures, and it's called "Old Town in the Fields" or
Tower.
Old Tower in the Fields.
Yeah.
I wonder where he did that.
It actually, if you look up the painting, it'll say where it was done.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah,
Good
don't
job.
recall that. So.
You have a restful style.
Okay, we'll get on restful now.
Uh-oh. I spoke too soon.
What
No,
about-
that's restful.
Well,
What?
this is.
Oh, there's a boat. Oh. Now, how did you draw that yourself?
Oh yeah.
The ink pen, right?
It may be touched up with ink, but it's mainly just watercolor and brush. So this is a copy of a Turner, and the short title of it is Slave Ship.
Yeah.
The longer title is Slave Ship Throwing People Overboard.
Oh.
So Turner was a big, did a lot of coverage of current events.
Mm-hmm.
So he did a lot of famous paintings around steam engines because that was right at his time. And this was something that had actually happened. He did the painting.
It's interesting how you worked in the pen ink with the beautiful abstraction.
Yeah. This is also has a funny story. I had a book of Turner pictures, and I thought, oh, this is fun.
Yeah.
And so I really liked that one. It looked like a good challenge, so I started it and I went and painted it and everything. And then when we were, my wife and I were, I think, at the Met in New York, we saw the painting. And the reproduction of the book was very dark compared to the painting.
So you saw the original.
So the original. So the actual painting is much lighter than this. You can actually pick out details in the water and then the shore underneath it and everything.
And what's the yellow down the center?
It's sun coming down. It's the sun kind of breaking through. He had it in his painting. I just kind of put it into and didn't really think about it too much. So
I like the way you see things differently than that.
yeah, it's
really
fun.
Now, we're talking with Dennis Smith, and he is a painter and a photographer. He's from Uxbridge. He's a member of the Blackstone Valley Art Association.
Yes.
How long have you been with them?
Oh, 4 or 5 years. 4 years maybe.
How'd you
Three or
hear
4
about
years.
it?
I went and searched the internet. That's how you find. You know, I wanted to find an art club. So I've been in an art club and a photographic club too. And if you know your friends can't lead you there, there's always web search. And
Definitely. Do you find you sell many things there, or the
No.
people aren't? Why is it that people aren't? They love it, but they're not buying. Is it the price? What is it?
okay, and now we're into a personal theory. I don't. First of all, I don't press to sell my stuff.
Yeah.
Because I'm doing this for me, and
Right.
you know, my wife tells me to sign the stuff that she likes. So
Yeah.
she, after I die, she can.
Oh,
You know,
well, that's a good way to look at it.
yeah, but I think there are a couple issues. I think that people don't have wall space.
Yeah.
I mean, they want a picture that's going to go with your room and with your colors. You know, if you put a picture in here, you're going to want yellows and browns and things in it. Maybe some rusts. This one, no. And so it's a difficult decision. I've had many paintings and photographs purchased that I've contributed to charity auctions.
Okay.
So I do that, and those have done very well for the charities. But it's always nice to sell stuff. The things that get sold, I think, mostly are the greeting cards, the small things and stuff. So
I'm just wondering, do you do that? You know, many artists are doing that now. They're bringing their artwork down, like into greeting cards.
No.
You don't do that?
no, I don't. It's time is precious, and
Is it
I
hard to
think
do
the
that?
No,
No.
but the reward for it is small and
Very small.
Yeah.
So when I've been to galleries, my husband was in a gallery in Westboro, and people come in, they love it. I always think it's got to be the price, because if you love it that much, I got it. It must be too high priced. People, are kind of funny with their money.
Yeah, and I think there are two problems here too. I think people mainly buy from artists. They want to buy artists or photographers they've heard of.
Yeah.
So you've got to kind of get your foot in the door, just like with so many things. And then then you can't be priced too high, but you also can't be priced too low, or people won't value it. And so finding the right places.
And finding the friends, like you said, making sure they know the person and they get a reputation.
Yeah.
Get out there. Now, when I look at art, I guess I'm different. I don't care if I don't never know them and never heard from them. If I like it, I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you like that too?
Yeah, but we're out of wall space too.
Have you got your own studio at home?
I have a studio at home,
Yeah.
and it's my art in it. But my aunt was an accomplished artist, and we have a couple of her watercolors in the house. My middle daughter is an art instructor, and down in Pennsylvania. And I don't know that I have anything of hers hanging up at the moment, but it's so there's a lot of competition for the wall space.
Well, yeah, you've got a lot of talent that way in the family. You have 4 children.
4 children.
2 girls, 2 boys?
3 girls and a boy, and then the youngest is, let's see if I get this right, 33. So,
Okay, so
they're all launched, employed, and
Yeah. The 33-year-old might be a millennial.
yeah.
Yeah, having a 27-year-old, he's definitely a millennial. Oh my God, they're different.
No, she actually shows dogs. She has Havanese and shows them, so she's all over New England all the time showing her dogs. And
What does your wife think of all the artwork all over the house?
It's okay. We've kind of divided up the walls.
Oh.
I have spaces and she has spaces.
She's an artist?
No, but she gets to pick what goes in those places. And sometimes it's a beautiful wreath.
Yeah.
Sometimes she'll take one of my pictures and say, please print that. I'd like to hang that up.
Yeah.
And we both just changed our 2 locations. We each have a picture in the dining room, and we just changed those to summer pictures.
So you both could do that.
Yeah. So.
That's all right. So she's got an appreciation of art, and you are the artist, so she can see something of yours and say, "I really like that. Let's have that on the wall."
Yeah. Or she got a spring wreath for her birthday from her cousin, and she liked that. So.
When you left corporate, did you know I'm going into art?
No.
Full steam. You didn't. What made you
Didn't
decide?
know.
Just.
It was just a series of things. I kind of started the video thing, and kind of went into that and learned how to do it and how to edit and lighting and mic, all that stuff, and which is a lot to learn. And then I had the camera and was taking pictures, and then a friend who was a realtor said, "Can you do pictures of the insides of homes for me?" And I said, "Oh, of course." And well, I think I've taken pictures in about 140 homes for her now.
Inside?
Yeah, the interior for the real estate listing.
Oh, okay, because I know some artists they'll come in, they'll
These are
offer,
photographs.
yeah, for like a paint your house.
Yeah. I've done some of those on spec.
Do you like it?
Do I like doing the photography?
Well, I mean, no, doing the painting of someone's home on the outside for them to keep forever.
It's fun. I enjoy architecture. I enjoy the urban sketching movement, which is all about architecture.
Yeah.
But people are very attached to their houses, and they want to see it and think about it in a certain special way. I have made photo books for them. They've asked for, they've been in a family house for 40 years and they're moving out.
Yeah.
So we take my pictures and put it in a nice book for them to kind of preserve it.
Yeah, I know in my
that.
family albums, things are just like falling apart because they've been saved for so long through the years.
Mhm.
But it's good because then my son can have them too. But I'm
Yeah.
just beginning to show him his great-great-grandmother and all these people that long before, it's good for people to have this type of thing.
Yes, it is.
What's your favorite, though? You must have a favorite kind of art form. When you wake up in the morning and say, I really want to do something today, what do you gravitate toward most?
My sketchbook. Every morning I'm working in my sketchbook. This morning I was working in 2 sketchbooks at the same time. In one of them I had kind of a strange landscape I was working on. And in the other one, I did a page of practicing painting eyes and a page of practicing painting noses.
Noses.
Yes. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see those 2 in a few days.
How again can they reach you? How can they see some of your art?
Instagram is just at Den Smith, and Twitter is at Den Smith.
D-E-N Smith. Okay.
DENSMITH, yeah.
And they can reach you again at what? We got about 3 minutes left.
Okay, www.densmith.com, or you can call me at 617-642-6884. And yes, that sounds like it's in Boston, but it isn't. It's my phone in my pocket. So
It's a cell. Yeah, some of them mix me up because I think that's not from around here.
well, when I was doing the business consulting, I wanted people to think I lived in Boston.
Oh, that would not have occurred to me.
Yeah, and I've just kept it. But it makes it real easy because most of the spam calls come from Boston now. So if it's a 617 area code, I never answer it.
Oh, you're going through that too, the rollover calls?
Everybody does. So
But you'd think they'd stop because they're not getting anywhere, really.
apparently they do.
You think they are?
Yeah, apparently they do. And, I'm looking forward to, there's some new features coming in my phone this fall and that I really like, where it'll only ring if the person's in your address book. Everyone else can leave a message.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that'll be nice because that'll take essentially all of them out.
How much does that cost extra?
It'll be built into the phone. It's just a feature in the new operating system for the iPhone. in
So
the fall.
before we close, I want to make sure everybody knows that you can see some of Dennis's work over at the Blackstone Valley Art Gallery. And it's on what number Main Street in Uxbridge?
I think it's 5 South Main Street.
Yeah,
It's
the-
right next to the parking lot, big parking lot. in
Right,
town.
you go just through the lights,
Yep.
head for the pizza joint, and it's right on the right. You can't really miss it. It's a
Yeah.
cute little, right there on the corner. You go in, and I mean, there's all kinds of art.
It's all kinds of art, and the shows change about every 5 weeks.
5 weeks?
Yeah, and right now there is a teen expression show
Yeah.
that's coming on, and after that is, I think, the Art Association's fall show.
Is that teen one or from the Northbridge High School's teens?
It's all teens in the area,
Oh,
and I think they finally got 60 works, and some of the stuff is really good. It's worth seeing. So
Yeah, I love seeing. You know what? One of my favorite things is children's art because it's so simple. Over in your gallery, I can't seem to reach this lady. I bought a couple of those little cards of hers. It's watercolor with little animals or creatures. Can't think of her name. They're adorable. I thought, let's get her. Some people I think are very shy.
yeah, so you have her cards, and her phone number isn't on them. Big mistake number 1.
What? Don't call her.
No, always put your phone number and everything on your cards that you sell.
You could get a hold of Dennis and you can go over and see his artwork. I'm sure. Are you available to if somebody said, "Gee, we would like a photograph or a painting of our backyard or that type"? How about
Yeah.
somebody's portrait? You can do that too.
I do
That's
portraits for business people primarily.
Yeah.
Wedding anniversaries, other remembrances, and commission paintings. on occasion.
That's so cool. I can see a lot of your work in doctors' offices, lawyers' offices,
yeah,
children's pediatrics. Very happy.
Everywhere. Let's do it everywhere. Yes.
Cool. Okay. We'll get you back on again, maybe in the fall.
Okay.
Can you show us some more pictures?
Sure.
Okay.
Good.
We'll see you next time.
Okay. Thank you.
Riding on a shooting star, heading out toward a dream.